audio. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello Troy and Rock Frog. Welcome. Yeah, and little Mike. So yeah. I just had a Photoshop malfunction here, so I had to kill it in the
Cool,
using my
cool, cool.
task manager and use Control Alt Delete and kill it, and then start it over again. And I got a bunch of error messages, but now it seems like things are up and running. So I just hope that my Wacom tablet works. We'll see here. I forgot to test that. Yes, it works.
Okay.
Good. Now I'm settled. Yeah. So what are you going to
And
work on today, Linda? Yeah.
I am going to be working in Unreal, working on some more of my buildings.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be showing some stuff a little bit later on that shows the new packs I
Cool.
purchased with the
Yeah.
donation from last week.
Awesome. Yeah.
Just looking at YouTube to see if my stream is ever going to go live.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
It says it's live, but it's still stuck on the black screen.
Yeah, Troy,
So
she got some new packs. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks to you. Yep. And I'm going to work on some
there
heraldry,
we go.
Keolan heraldry, the Knights of the
There we go.
Malgari. So hang on a second. I snipped out the so we have this shield for the Malgari. So I'm
Okay.
going to try and do this one. And so I started with the rose in the middle that I think is a black rose. So I made a black rose in Illustrator. Here, the black rose. So I took a bunch of roses like this, and then I tweaked and changed the colors into a gray blackish thing. And then I'm going to work on the wings. So here we have the wings. So I'm going to, and hang on a second, I got my mouse is crooked here, but there we go. Ah, that was a little bit low. That's better. Yeah. So I'm going to copy these. These are vector art from the Almorian Gold collection. So I'm going to paste them in here,
And
and
let's
then we'll
see.
see
Go
if I can
here.
tweak them a bit because they need to be more embracing things. So I need to see if we can tweak them a bit. Um, so I think I'm going to try and have them that big to begin with. And now I'm going to just duplicate the layer for the heck of it. And
Triangle.
because they look so vectorized, so now I need to go into neural filters right away and see if we can go in and do some style transfer here right away. That looks better. Preserve color. Yeah. Maybe I should keep them the way they are and then do the whole thing. That is probably better. I should keep them the way they are first. And then go down here and just rasterize the layer and then save again. And now we have the little rose. I'm going to make the rose slightly smaller and put that one in the middle here. Like that something. And now it is time to look into the sword and see. So I'm going to go in here and I have the Elmorian Gold, so I'm just going to search and see. Sword. Open file location. And we have a sword with a shield. Nah, that didn't look that good. That's a little
Pardon
dagger
me
with,
while
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
get stuff loaded here, because I didn't get it loaded
Yeah.
prior to getting everything set up. Or I changed
Hulk
my mind, I
holding,
should say.
yeah.
And
Holding sword. No, that's not what we want. That's
All right.
another.
So once those are all
Yeah.
loaded, Should be good to go.
The Almoria Gold has a lot of stuff in it. This is a DVD, or you can buy it, download it. It used to come on a DVD, but now I think you download it. And it's a guy, I don't know exactly where he comes from, but Germany or England or something. He has created, using Corel Draw, thousands of heraldic images, and he sells them as a DVD, the Almorial Gold. And I bought the download version, or there was the DVD version still. I'm not sure which, but I bought it, and it's in VMF format. That is a Corel format. So you need, in order to view it in the file manager, you need a special plugin. And I only installed that on my other computer. That's my old computer. That's why I'm running it in this. So it's a little bit awkward to use, but they are not bad. They are, some of them are really, really good. Some of them are less useful from a fantasy perspective. So I'm just going over everything that has a sword, because they are tagged, so you can actually search. So I'm just going over everything that has a sword in it, and so far it's coming up not that good, so to speak. So we'll see.
Okay.
But they have, it's basically all the swords that are in there are critters that hold swords, like this boar's head, for instance, with a sword through. So I don't think that's particularly useful. So now I'm going to see here. I have another resource here somewhere that is online. So I'm going to see if I can find it.
When Anna gets settled, I'm gonna show
please.
Troy what I picked up with his goodies.
Yeah, please do.
I picked up a pack from a company called Brushify that does, oops, wrong thing. I'm not quite sure how to run this one yet, so it's going to take me a second. Medieval, Brushify, buildings, prefabs.
Yep. So while you're looking there, I'm going to show the Book of Traceable Heraldic Art. This is a fantastic site, and I'm putting the link in the there you go, Heraldic Art. This is a site with tons of stuff that Creative Commons, and it's heraldic. This is, I think, in many ways even better than Almorial Gold, but I didn't know about it when I bought Almorial Gold like 8-10 years ago. I don't think they were online, so yeah. Sorry, go on.
So I'm still getting set up here, so you can keep talking. Just waiting for all my stuff to load here.
And these are sorted by type or by all sorts of stuff. There are so many cool things. So if we can see military, so we should probably spear, sword. So we go into sword, and here we have sword, and they're available PDF, SVG, black and white, gray, whatever. So they're fantastic. So I'm just going to look for something that matches this roughly. So, and this is awesome. You can also download the whole shebang. I've done that too, just in case they shut down the site. So I downloaded the whole shebang. But it's easy to search on the website, and you just get it, so you can have the best of both worlds.
Still preparing shaders, so keep talking, Anna.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to finish loading here.
So now I need to find a sword that can be a good substitute. It is kind of narrow in nature here, with just a small parry guard. So I'm going to see if I can find something straight here. Stylistic.
Shaders.
Maybe.
Sorry guys, my stuff has taken forever to load tonight, so first time opening it, it has to prepare all the shaders.
Yeah, black and white SVG. So can we? I'm going to heraldry.
Okay.
Heraldry, and we have real shields, and then sources, sword, mono. There we go.
Another one.
I saved the SVG because it's actually most useful in Illustrator. So here we can probably import it, place it, and real shield.
So what mine is it's called from a company called Brushify. He does a lot of procedural buildings, landscape stuff, all this. What he's done is created a seeds, so to speak, for making worlds. And one of them is a castle keep, which you can start out building your castle with. And then you bring in the second one, which has to load its shaders. I should have done this beforehand, but What it does, it's made out of spline. So I can take and expand it. I'm not sure the keys, so bear with me. I haven't played with this yet. You just take this and you can stretch it, if I can get a hold of it. Gimme. It will make a castle wall to whatever spline you make. It's really freaking cool. I have a video I can put in the link if I have to. But like I said, I have not played with this yet. But you can see it creates the castle wall as you go. And it'll go up and down hills. It'll go all over the place. It's really freaking cool. And you can add pieces to the wall by doing that. And you can add curves just by going a different direction. It'll start turning the wall.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. So that's one of the packs. I have not played with it a lot yet, so I'll have to work with it and learn how to use it properly. The other pack I got is get that one down there. I don't know why they called it Madeline, but they named the file Madeline for some reason.
Okay.
And it is pieces of a cathedral, which you can do all inside cathedrals. So that's in a preparation to try and do some more work with my Temple of Elemental Evil. So there's like 200 pieces here that I can play with.
Yeah.
So there's tons and tons of stuff. There's lighting effects. There's everything inside of it. The third pack I picked up is Medieval Beds, which is modular. It gives you all these pieces, and you can take all these pieces and build them into beds, different associations, listings, all that stuff. And this other last one I got is Stone Bridges, which is, again, pieces. There's prefabs that they made, which are just blocks of, get my hands on the right keys, stones, which make up pieces of bridges.
Yeah.
And then if you go to the other pack, to the elements, whoops, wrong one. I got to get myself organized here. Go to assets, elements, and then you go to meshes. It has all of these different pieces you can use to build with.
Okay.
There's like gigantic pieces that I can change textures on and, make full-scale bridges and things like that.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And let's see, that was that one. Madeline I showed, and then just for the giggles, I did not put it in here. I picked up a thing called fantasy eggs. It's just I want to use them as ideas.
Oh, like dragon eggs and stuff.
For dragon eggs.
Wow, yep. And that's awesome. Yeah,
that's great. And it was like $9, so I threw in like $20 on my own to get it all. But so that's what I've done with your donation, Troy. Everything is purchased. It's downloaded. That's how many different patterns I have for dragon eggs to play with.
Oh, wow. That is...
It was like $9.
Awesome.
And I think I can make them work. I have an egg shape that I'm going to start playing with in the next few days. But I just haven't had a chance yet. I've had headaches. I've had toothache. I've had drama that I don't need to deal with. And lots of stuff going on the last couple days. So.
Yep.
But that's what I did with your lovely donation, Troy. So I'll be busy for a long time with it. Thank you very much.
Yep. And I imported the SVG, and then it was a lot of the SVG was complicated. It was a group that was in a clipping mask. So I had to first untangle all of that in order to change the colors of the individual parts. But the good thing with vector art is that once you have it dissected into pieces, you can actually easily go in and change colors of it. And here I think I have a working version. We'll see. So I'll start with this, and now I go in and copy that and go into Photoshop and paste it in, and I paste that smart object because then I keep the vectors inside Photoshop until I save it or get the final size. So I can actually increase the size up and down, and it keeps the resolution. It doesn't get jaggy and stuff. So that's the good thing. So work with smart object as much as possible in Photoshop. It's really useful. So now I'm going to I probably need to put it like that, so have it in the middle. And now we need to work with the right size. So we have the wings should be in back, and then the sword, and then the rose should be on top. So I should move the.
And I keep looking at over my other screen because I have my stream running on YouTube also. So we're trying to dual stream tonight.
Yeah, we're testing that out for the first time. So yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't lag too much on YouTube, but I don't see it. It's a bit rate is down to 1800, but that should be fine. I shouldn't have an issue.
We have green on Twitch, so it should work. So yeah.
Yep.
And here comes the first kind of issue here when you have, because I want these to be blended in with the background, but it doesn't really work. So first I need to take all of these. So I'm going to hide the shields and the background here and just take all of this to a separate layer, and then go in and make that use filters to make it, because now it just looks like vector art and it doesn't look like painted on a shield. So we need to deal with that first. So I'm just going to take all of this and basically just copy merged, and then go to the top here and just paint it in. And that was not good. I should paste it in. What the heck? Paste in place. There we go. So I get it in the same spot. So now I have that layer. I should lock that layer, and just for the heck of it, I do a duplicate here. And then I'll take this duplicate and go into neural filters. And now I can turn this into something that can look painted or something like that. So I just have to, here we have something already that looks okay, much better, but it's a little bit too iffy. So I need to probably do several. This starts to look like something. So I'm going to, just for the heck, I'm going to make a new layer, and then I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to go back in here and do I usually try and do 3-4 different versions of this before I find the final. And usually the final one is usually a blend of several. No, this doesn't look too bad. Sometimes the problem is that you get these sharp edges. That's one of the shortcomings of this. So I'm going to, before I realize that when you don't have a background, so I'm actually going to put this background in, and now I just need to make a new one here just for the heck. So I'm going to create the background. There we go. Now I'm going to feed that in. Filter, neural filters. So that was Mike Mosberg von Malku that texted me something, but I'll look into that afterwards. So here we go. Now you get edges that are much more natural because you get it into something else. So I'm going to go with this instead. That is too. I'm going to put this one in afterwards, I think. But first I need something that looks. That is too sketchy or too vectorized. That is a little bit too painterly. I've done that one, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still working on this to find the best start. This one can work. I find things that I want to mix in afterwards, but first I need to find something that is a little bit more. This can work if I want it rusty or something. That's perfect. Hang on a second. I'm going to keep that one because I like it so much. So because it looks like a rusty version of it. So I'm just going to keep that one. And then I'm going to go in here, filter, and do neural filters again.
Just gonna do this small
here.
Rotate.
That is also rusty, but I have a rusty look, so I'm going to skip that for now. And here we go in this, and Yeah, and it's either too accurate or too wild. So I'm going to, yeah, that is too accurate. That is too accurate as well. This is kind of cool.
And in a few days, I'll be downloading Unreal Engine 5.2 that just came out.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'll
cool.
be updating that too.
Yeah.
But
This I can use, I think, and I can use that again, but I'm going to use the original and make another
stop
one. So
bouncing. There we go.
sometimes I need to make 4 or 5 different versions before it's
Yeah,
good.
that looks
So
good. This is going to be a walkthrough, and
that
I'm
is
going to
another
cheat
Rust
and
version.
take
This,
those and
yeah,
duplicate them over. I'm going to take this one and shove it over a little bit.
and these are the neural filters. There's a whole bunch of other filters, and I might need to resort to them to begin with too, because it's a
Nope, wrong
tricky
one.
thing here.
This one.
That one might be useful too, but so I'm going to keep that in mind.
That one I'm
And we
going to
have a
delete
Van
for
Gogh painting. Yeah,
the-
we might want to turn it into something sketchy.
something sketchy.
Yep, sketchy. Yeah, and
Okay.
but I'm going to use this first. So yeah, that will be useful too down the line.
Okay.
It's too accurate.
And we're just going to duplicate this wall. And
That's the this is the oh, what is the movie with Neuromancer? No, well, it's a cyber version. Ones and zeros. It's like the, yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh,
Honestly.
it's the when he's the Jimmy Mnemonic or whatever. Yeah, it's the, yeah.
Oh, Johnny Mnemonic or
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
Mnemonic or yeah. Hang on, I've seen them a bunch.
It's like
I love them.
it's
Yeah, I love
it's
this.
spelled like NMENOAC or something
Yeah,
weird
yeah, I
like
love
that.
the movies, but I
Mm,
can't remember what they're called. Yeah, and
Yep.
there's like first that one, and then there's a bunch of others. But and he's an awesome actor, and I forgot his name. I'm so sorry.
Uh, um, um, yep. I forgot his name too.
Yeah, and he's an awesome actor, and
Ke
he seems to be an even more awesome person. So yeah,
Keanu Reeves, isn't it?
Keanu Reeves. Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, my brain just went, I know who you're
And
talking about,
yeah.
but
Okay, this is not, now I think I got what I wanted from the beginning. So now I'm going to go in here and just for the heck of it, I'm going to make it
is that the
duplicate here
entire thing that's not quite
because
lined up?
this one doesn't duplicate automatically. And then I'm going to go in filter and I'm going to use
Oh.
filter gallery. And these are kind of tough to
We're
use.
just gonna take that one
These are the old school filters, but sometimes they are better than the neural filters.
Oops.
Artistic.
And
So I'm just gonna, because what I need here is to break up the outline, which seems to be, hang on a second, I'm selecting the I need to turn off all the other layers here just for the heck of it. There we go. Yep. Filter and filter gallery. It is hard sometimes because these things are, I need to break them up. And it is hard.
okay, and I'm gonna cheat and take those two and put them over here. And we're gonna go a little weird looking on the back of this.
That is plastic. I don't like that one. And
Is my
that
filler
was
ball.
this is hard. You have to find the ones that
That
maybe
filler
just
ball
blur.
is the one I
No,
want.
watercolor. No,
Do, 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 do.
this was harder than I thought to find the right tool for the job here. So yeah.
You always manage to find the right tool, though.
Oh yeah, it's eventually, but this one I have to go through all of them. So just to break them up a bit,
Mm-hmm.
distort.
And I will be continuing all the stuff I'm starting here. It's just I'm
Yeah.
still getting myself sorted, getting all the pieces put together into my library, and I want to condense all my projects down once I get them going a little
Yeah,
further.
and I have the wrong colors. I should have black and white there, but Anyway, okay, skip them, and I have two versions to go by. So now I'm going to take this one and take that one into neural filters and use that one and go from that one instead. So I'm going to take several steps here. That is too much going over, and now I'm just gonna, so I probably need to do 3 or 4 iterations with filters before I'm satisfied.
You're happy with it?
Yep. Break it up. I need to break up those hard vector lines, but not too much at a time, because I still want it to be either, I don't want it to be too messy or I don't want it to be too clean. I want to have it like in between. So yeah. I love these so much, but the problem is that it's not what I want the first step. So and that one too. So I want to come back to. Maybe if I run this one 4 or 5 times, it might work.
That's inside. So
yeah, it's still a little bit too.
Control D and block that off.
That's the one I did before. So yeah.
Someday I will eventually do something with all these things and build an actual project out of them. But what I'm doing is just making blueprints for buildings and different things, so I can do quick city builds. Like if all these buildings, if I have them made, I can make them into what's called either a packed asset or I can do a blueprint.
Okay.
So every time I do it, I just grab this building and I drag the entire thing in, just plunk, and it's here.
Yeah.
I don't have to rebuild it every time. So that's what I'm working on, putting all these little random buildings together. Once I'm happy with the models, then I'm going to make them into packed assets that I can keep put together with everything else. Sorry, my brain's a little disjointed. I'm trying to be creative, and my brain is like,
yeah.
Because I'm struggling with a headache tonight, so.
Now I'm going to mix the two together here. Just need to find the right right mix of blend modes here.
And we're gonna duplicate that one, bring it out. Nope, not quite.
I think that is good. So I'm going to take this one, and then we have this one. And now I'm going to change the blend mode on this one and put it on top here and see what we got. Now we're starting to come somewhere here. So here we go. Put it on top.
And put it on top. Looks alright. Okay, so now I need to get my wall in here, or my roof line in here, because this is just going to be a long flat roof.
Yeah. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity quite a bit on this one.
Rotate.
Something like that. And now it's time to put a little bit of hue saturation on top of this and bring down the desaturate it so I get the
goofball. That's not what you wanted to do. Control D.
Look at that. Now I think we're somewhere. And then a brightness contrast. Brighten it up a bit. Way more contrast. There. Now I'm starting to getting somewhere here. Yep. This is looking good. So
isn't it fun when a plan comes together?
Yep.
And you're just like, oh, this is really what I want.
Yep.
This is it.
This is looking cool. So now I'm going to copy all this. Now I'm going to turn off all the layers here, and I'm going to paste this one. What the heck? I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm going to turn that back there. I'm going to turn on the shield. I'm going to turn that off. Turn on the shield. So here we have the base shield. Now I'm going to turn this and go overlay and see what we got. This is not bad. This damn, here we have the primitive sign. What about this? That's the primitive we got from the beginning, and here is what I made. I think I think this looks cool. It might be a little bit dark. I might have to splice.
Actually, I was going to say it looks a little bit light.
Okay, then it's good. I think it's dark. You think it light. Then I think it's perfect. So yep.
Yep.
It's a good. Yep. If we got
because it just doesn't stand out real definite. But that might be the look you're going for too.
These are a little bit kind of they're
Hello, Enoch Pratt Sundown Sensei. Wow, that's a name.
Hello, Enoch. Welcome. Yep, I'm working on Keoland heraldry here, so I'm going to save these. So there is the Malgari. Thank you, Troy. Thank you. Yep. So now I'm going to save a copy here. So we have a new post 9. I think that's the latest. Now that's the
Thanks for the beer, Enoch.
I'm going to put that in there. So
where's my ridge pole here? Ridge, corner.
Okay, that was the first one, the one that I definitely wanted to do today, because I got so inspired when we talked LG with John and Mervyn and Dave and David and Gary, and when Gary talked about this order, I became like, ooh, I wanted and saw the shield, so I definitely needed to do the shield. So I think this is a good one. So just going to go over the PDF and see if there's any more that I want to do while we're still at it here. I think I have most of them done, but not all of them.
Only kind of beer I accept is from you guys. So
they are fueled by beer. Shape. Okay, yep.
Yep, you're in good shape. Let's see.
Yep, Keoland Guilds. Then we have another one here that...
That looks okay. Gotta get in the right position here.
Some of the other ones I have done. The eyes and...
I actually like this look much better than the other one.
Yeah, most of the other ones are done, so...
Okay, and then this one is the opposite side.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that. The other ones require a bit more research and I need to study them, so to speak. But this one I got. So that was a good start of the day. So now I'm going to go back to doing some more work on... hello, Pete Bog. Yeah, it's like this SAS insignia. Yes, it's very close to the Who Dares Wins. So yep, I think that's where the original inspiration came from. So it's for the Malgari knightly order from Keoland. And go back, watch, if you haven't watched yesterday's Legends and Lore show. Gary Julian talked about the story of these guys on the show. So that was where it came from. And I'm sitting a little bit low here, so I'm going to, there we go, a little bit up. Yeah, so it's a knightly order that are... Yeah, they fit in there next to the Knight of the Watch. They're actually older than Knight of the Watch. Yeah. Yeah. So watch that one for the Malgari. They're kind of cool. They came after. They are from the time just after when the Vecna Empire fell apart. I think they were formed in order to make sure that the Vecna Empire didn't form back again. And they're kind of really cool and have been around for 1300 years or something. So they're a little bit more mysterious than the Watch, I think, the Watchmen. So this is their heraldry. So I just made, and I can show you real quick if I did. Maybe I closed it out already. I might have done so. Yeah, I have done so. So yeah. So it was a simple heraldry. Oh, hang on a second here. I can find it here. The Malgari. So the one we had was...
His texture doesn't line up.
I need to find it among all the all the heraldry here. The Malga, that's the one. So let's zoom in here a bit. So that's the original shield that came, that were done for the LG. So I took this one and turned it into this one. So we have the rose, the sword, and the wings. Oh, hang on a second. I forgot the... Damn, I forgot the... Yep, stupid me. Yep, I need to fix that. So I need to take the... I need to fix that. So let's just do a new little thingy here. And just do 200 by 200. Yep. Damn, you can't be... I'm not done yet. So, yep. So now I just need to take the snippet tool again here. Take a new one and do a snippet here. There we go. And copy that one, go in here and paste, there we go, and go in here and just make it bigger, like that.
There we go.
And now I just need to make a new layer on top, put some where's the paint bucket? There's the paint bucket. So, and take a mask, mask it away, find a brush, and oh, now
that one.
I've separated my... Where's my...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's like one thing...
Catastrophic failure.
No, but it's the workspace. I create workspaces and then you can't get them back in again. Meaning I elaborately create a workspace in... So Adobe, if you listen to this ever, please fix the damn workspace things. If you have a workspace function, make it work. If I create a new workspace and I save it, I should be able to put it back in again. But no, for some damn reason that doesn't work. Hang on a second. Let's see if...
let's go 5.
I can reset new or delete workspace, but hang on a second. So I had one here. I had one on my previous installation. I've had one on the one in before then. Why the heck can't I import it in? Maybe there is a function for it. It used to be, but it never... Yeah, so I'm like, oh, this is so bad. Yeah. And all of a sudden I just press something on the keyboard and the whole thing goes away and I have to start over again.
Goes crazy.
Yep. So I want to have a function where I can set the workspace I want, save it, and then just go back and find it again. And it should transfer to my other computer, to another installation or whatever, but no. And I hate that bit. Now I have to spend, but I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm going to spend 2 hours after this or something to set it up again. And yeah.
That would irritate me having... Actually, it's happened to me in Unreal too.
It irritates me the heck of it. And it happens like once every 6 months or so.
I'll see.
Okay, thank you, Lee. Thank you. I think I've saved my damn thing 4 times, but I never know. Yeah.
Definitely. Good point, Savage.
So why isn't it under workspaces?
You're attempting programmer logic there, Anna.
Import, okay. Workspace, there we go.
Why are you...
Workspace. Restore, prev, next, cancel. I don't see an import here. See, that's the thing. I've been here, look, and I can't see one. Yeah. So I'll skip it for now, and I can complain about Adobe a little bit longer because I pay them money every month, so that means that I'm eligible to complain.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it.
Yeah, I can't sit on the sideline and complain. I can complain because I'm a legit user. I use Adobe and I pay for it, and I like it. I love their products in many ways, but there are some nagging, stupid flaws, and one of them is why is it that in Photoshop, when I constrained the size on things in order to keep the proportions the same, that happens automatically. So if I want free resizing without and skip the constraints, I have to hold down Shift. In Illustrator, it's the opposite. Meaning, come on. In one tool, you have to hold down Shift to do something, and in Illustrator, you have to not hold down Shift to do the same thing. That is kind of, yeah, it's like, make up your mind, one way or the other, in both tools, please. Yeah. But that now, down from my pedestal, so yeah.
But it makes sense. I mean, there's things with every program
yeah,
that we
because
all
I jump
hate,
between the tools, and now they look so the same. So I want the same shortcuts for the same function in yeah.
Pete Bog is 100% correct. It's designer feel. It's a look and feel designer logic. Yep, exactly.
Designer logic, is that a logic to designing? Maybe it's not. I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah. I think that was kind of the point, but it's just, you run into that with every project.
Yeah.
Every program you run, because there's things I don't like about Unreal too, that it's just like, ugh.
Oh yeah.
Really? Come on. Why did you do this, Unreal?
And now I'm going to put a color overlay here so I can see the black on black here. So okay.
Oh.
And that's another idiot.
You're good, Pete Bog. 100% good.
Yeah, and the other weird thing is that I was painting on the mask, and once I do something, it pops back to paint on the original layer. That's another one. Fix that. If I was working on the mask, I want to continue to work on the mask until I click on something except the mask. So I'm in complain mode today. So I'm so sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's okay. You can rant once in a while. We'll allow you.
Yeah. And now
not every stream, though.
Yeah, and no, exactly. But now I realize something. I'm stupid here. So now I need to put. I want that to be round. So I'm going to put a little.
Oh, Savage says it's in presets, not preferences. He's sorry.
Presets. Okay.
So once you have the workspace set up, just export it from there. He says.
Presets. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this and
that looks okay, I guess.
Remove the side, and now I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to find it. So hang on a second. I'm just going to while I'm working on that. So, okay, so presets.
Yep, and he says that way you can re-import it when it does get removed with an update. It happens
good.
all the damn time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So presets. So edit preference. Presets. Is there a preset somewhere? No presets here. Where the heck is presets? Image layer file? No wonder I never found this.
OBS is probably one of the worst programs for resetting everything when you get it set up.
Higher up in the edit menu, presets. Yep. Presets. Presets. Look at export import presets.
There you
go. Select import presets. Select import folder. That might be because I have a Photoshop thingy here. Let's see. Resources.
We're gonna do.
Here we have Photoshop thingies somewhere. Photoshop tools and settings. Patterns. Brush templates. That's it. Okay.
I don't necessarily like that look.
Okay, so thank you. Now I at least know where it is. So export presets. So there we go. So now I need to create a preset again and then export it. Thank you. Yep. Yep. Thank you. Okay, now I can deselect that one, and now I can go in here and create. Okay. This one should not be perfect, so I should just go in here and there we go, and then
but I'm gonna do
one here, and
it gives you option. He says there's just a big update and it gives you the option to move stuff all or move stuff over, and sometimes it just fails.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's my experience with stuff like that in Adobe.
I think it's in every program because
Yeah, but
it's just annoying.
yeah,
All the way around, it's
yeah.
just annoying.
And that little bit was actually something that worked better in Corel back in the day. They had better support for that, more stable support. There was a lot of stuff that works better in Adobe than in Corel, but that was one of the things that actually worked better in Corel. Now I'm going to
Let's
just
see.
make sure that this is not perfectly round. I'm just going to
I want
make it.
to.
There we go.
That's
And now
not
I'm
the way
going
I want
to
to go.
remove the effects there. I'm going to hide that one, and here we have.
Okay, so I need to get rid of
Now I'm
all
just
of
going
these
to
pieces.
tweak this a little bit more here.
And then tilt
Now I'm just
this.
going by eyesight here too.
So it's kind of flat.
So
Go, and now I can play with it.
now duplicate layer, turn that off, and
Wrong
apply.
one.
And then I do this, copy, and hang on a second. Now I need to.
Really stand for Adobe.
Now I'm going to do something fun here. So.
Savage says the ACA should really stand for the Adobe Certified Apologist.
Oh, that is awesomely.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
I love it.
Yep. Now I'm going to try and do something in the and see if I can get this to work. I'm going to do a pattern out of this little thing here and see. First, I just need to trim the file so I get it down to roughly
kind of straight
here.
All right, so I want to go.
If I do this and then edit and define pattern, and I need to take that layer. Edit and define pattern.
This is weird.
And then
warping really bad. Let's see,
Malgari 1. I'm just going to call that
1.
There we go. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to create a new layer. And just for the heck of it, I'm just going to take a pattern overlay and go in here and take the Malgari and opacity.
0.75. Wow. Something is weird with this piece of wood here. I was trying to make a smaller trim board to put along there, and it will not warp the right direction. It wants to warp every which direction but the way I want it to.
Yeah. Why don't I see an overlay? So I pattern overlay and oh, it's soft light normal. There we go. So now I can actually
wrong way.
I should do undo
1
paint pocket. There we go.
There we go.
And pattern overlay and normal. And it's
why he
still
left this
not
edge
visible.
Raw on these roof lines, I don't know, but whatever, I'll fix it.
I haven't used oh, there we go. I needed a color in the background, so now I changed this to darken and
I'll just leave it 1. There'll be less hassle.
So I'm going to do this just for the heck of it. First I need to look at the thing and see they need to be bigger. So I'm going to scale them up. They should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across. So that means that I can make them bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little bit smaller than that.
Control D, and we're going to pull one over to the other side.
That's 4, that's 8. 210%. 220 maybe.
There we go.
That's 3, 4. Yeah, that's roughly right. And opacity.
Together.
And then I'm going to make the opacity like that.
We're gonna do.
And now I'm rasterizing the layer style. Because now what I can do here is that I can go and select. I can select color range. And I can select the black. And I do this. and I mask it.
Just duplicate it.
And then I apply. And now I can do overlay, and now comes the tricky bit here. Because I was so late that I forgot. So what I do is that I can, first I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit here, and I'm going to play with it because overlay might not be, soft light might be better. Soft light, yeah. And I'm going to actually reduce the, something like that.
Okay, so that's a little too wide.
I'm going to play with the blend modes because I want
do
to.
it on the other side. I did.
There's soft light. That's the best one so
half
far.
One wall, half one wall. Okay. Gonna get rid of one of those.
Yeah, soft light it is.
I'm gonna kick that over.
Soft light. So, and now I can
keep this.
go in here and I'm going to actually paint in them rather than away them, I think. So I'm going to go in here and
I'm gonna pull these back.
I don't care so much if they're visible here in the dark, so I don't need to be that. It's in the bright parts where it's... Here we go. So I can just add them in the background here like they're actually before the motif. So I can just keep painting them in, and then I can remove them behind here. So yeah, there we go.
Okay, so I need to stretch that one a little bit to fill out the wall, and we'll stretch that one just. There we go. It's slowly coming together.
Yeah.
Control D.
Yeah, this one comes together too. I should have done this before, but it's a little bit of an after construction, but it's kind of cool.
I'm gonna put a little.
Here we go, so we can put them.
Peekaboo here.
And if, hang on a second, before I do this, I should adjust the position. Stupid me. So I do that before I get in here. So now I should actually move them about here. So I should have one, the top one should be just like that, I think is the best. Then we should move them over so we have them actually lining up with the motif. Like that is probably the best. Yep. And now I can delete the layer mask. And then we can go and paint them back in again. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Now I need to copy the other end here that I made for this, because I'm gonna cheat and duplicate it.
Okay. Yeah.
And put it on the other end. And rotate that 180 degrees. And then, yeah, we'll get rid of... No, I don't want to change that. I want to delete those. Grab these.
Come on. No, it doesn't. My Wacom tablet was not really...
It's giving Anna fits tonight.
Yeah.
Stop it.
There we go. And now it worked, but in a second ago it didn't work for some reason. So there, I think we have it. Yeah. Good. Now I can save again. And yeah, so I can join the ranks of Adobe certified apologists. But I'm a certified complainist. rather than apologist. So yeah, I'm an ACC. Yep.
There's sometimes when it's justified though,
To
that
be an
it's just like,
ACC. Yep.
yeah, it's just like, really, guys, come on.
Yep. I'm an ACC, and sometimes you need one too. So yep. It's equally expensive to be an ACC. So yep.
Absolutely it
Yep.
is. Okay, so why is my roof not lining up?
Okay. Oh
Stop
yeah, you're working on
that.
that cool building again. Yep.
I'm adding a backside to it this time.
Yep.
Uh, Savages, I bitch all the time when I think it's salt choice salt.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah. You didn't sell your own, you sold Troy's? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Oh man. Um,
I'm going
let's
to
see.
save this one just for the sake of it. I'm going to hang on a second. Now they actually fixed something. I had an error when I opened the files, and now that error is gone. So something was screwed up, but something was fixed too. So yep.
Something finally clicked.
Yep. So I fixed something when
Dang
I
it.
screwed something up. So that's good. So now heraldry, real shields, and sources, and
I pay them every month and almost don't even use it enough. Waiting to get lessons in Photoshop to enhance my maps from Anna and Baron.
yeah.
Yep.
Malgari token. I'm not sure what the heck that is called, so I just call it that and save it.
I'm going to be playing, hopefully in the future, with a little bit of isometric maps. Wolfgang told me a long time ago he wanted some isometric maps, and I just like put it off and put it off and put it off. So
yeah.
I'm going to try and play with a few of them, see if I can figure something out that will work well.
Yeah.
But it's a bigger challenge than people think. So something is goofy on my roof line. What in the world is going on here?
Crit wall area, and there we go. Now I'm
No,
going to open my crit wall, and now I'm going to sit here and fix a little bit of the because I need to fix the toolbar on the left there.
All right, so
a little bit, but at least I fixed one error disappeared. So I screwed up something, but fixed something else. So I can't complain. So yeah.
Well,
no, Troy, your maps are not bad. They are great. Yeah.
What in the heck did he do on this pack? Oh, it's not him, it's me. Duh.
Okay, now I need to
blaming them for something I did because I resized these.
Edit toolbar. Hang on a second.
Oh, come on.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, now I can edit the toolbar here. So
light you guys up.
Extra tools. Okay, toolbar.
Okay. Oh my God, I just made it worse.
Hang on a second here. I wonder what the heck. Brush tool, pencil tool. No, I put that extra tool, pencil. Yeah.
I'm gonna make my
pencil tool.
smaller.
I start with that one.
Up a little bit.
But that didn't do anything.
Okay, so that's
there we
lined
go.
up. That's lined up, and then this one isn't. Why are you not lining up like you're supposed to be?
Hang on a second here. Brush tool. Brush tool. There we go. Ah, there we go. So now I have brush and pencil tool.
Troy says, so Anna, is that a picture from World Machine that you are working with in Photoshop now?
Yep, it is. But now my idea was that I wanted these to be especially edit toolbar. Oh, edit toolbar. Okay, I've done this before, so it should. There we go.
This is
so
definitely
I have
not working right.
Brush and
well, I'm just gonna have to hide that because those lines will not line up. I don't know what he did with that
Yeah.
texture, but it is not lining up like it's supposed to.
So, okay, let's see here.
All
Mapping.
right. I'll hide it with some moss or something.
Photoshop.
See, oh. Pint and Pie,
Tools.
watching this is exactly like me trying to sort out audio through OBS for streaming. Can't hide audio with a moss though. Exactly. Oh,
Hello,
trust me.
Pint and Pie. Yep.
I have so many problems with OBS some days. I just want to just say enough.
Yeah, but we actually
But
solved it. So we dual streaming for the first time, and it seems to work. So we're kind of happy. It's 0 dropped frames, and it works. So
yep.
it's good.
And YouTube is running smooth as far as I can tell.
Oh, good, 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 good. Now
I even have
yeah,
5 views. Nice. Okay, cool.
yeah,
All right. So what we're doing is trying to simul stream so I can have the content on my channel without making Anna do a bunch of extra work.
yeah.
Exporting the streams and then me uploading them and all that stuff. So we're trying to simul stream. So
Hang on a second. I should just simply should I put over the move artboard tool rectangular map.
nice, 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 nice. I like to hear that everything is going smoothly.
Pencil tool, brush tool.
Because we almost kind of struggled there for a little bit and we were like, oh, how the heck did we do this? How do we do this? And then we just said, you know what? I'll just share my information and you can just go for it. So I'm trusting Anna with my security in my YouTube channel right now.
Yep.
I think I'm safe.
I haven't screwed up that much yet, so.
Nope, I think you're good.
Why can't I somehow now I shouldn't do this on stream, but I want to do, yeah. Oh, I can put in. Oh, can I change this to
Share stream
be?
Yes, Pint and Pie. I'm stream. Mine stream is on Steel Valkyrie, and on YouTube, and Anna's is here on Twitch. Yeah, you're good, Cannibal. Don't worry about it, or Troy. I'm all good with that. If somebody wants to get a hold of my email, I'm not worried. It's like whatever. I get enough spam from people now, so it's not going to hurt me. And thank you again. I can't thank you enough. So it is working very, very well. And once I get a chance to look at the packs and really play with them a little bit, I'll start using them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I bought them literally like an hour before the show. So
yeah.
I did not get a chance to play with them. Whoa, come back your door. I don't want you clear back there. Come here. Back over here. Got a runaway door. All right. Well, let's vary the back wall a little bit because the front wall's like that too.
Drag and drop tools or their groupings to the toolbar list view. Move excess unused or low priority tools onto the extra list. Now I don't want extra list. I want the damn thing to be in here. Hang on a second here.
This one over here.
Eyedropper tool.
The door is bolted? No, it's not. It's an individual piece that I can animate. I'm just choosing to move it all at one chunk. So eventually when I get to the point of doing official like building project with this one,
yes.
I can animate the door because it is an individual piece.
It worked. Now I have them there, so okay. So I figured that out. So now I can start working again. So yeah.
That one, and we're gonna put 2 doors.
Yeah. So this is an output from.
Yep. Oh, gotcha. Duh. I'm having a little brain. My brain just went, huh? Yeah. Yeah. It ran away.
Oh,
it ran away.
But it looks cool. So yeah.
We'll have 2 doors on that side.
And I'm just gonna continue to do some.
All right.
So
there's that building put together, except for the supports on the second floor. I need these supports on the front to copy to the back. And Control D, and unfortunately I can't do screencast keys on here.
Little Mike wonders if you made the whole building, and I think you did.
Yes, I made it from scratch, Mike. I'm using packs in Unreal. Um, and there may be a way I can share some of these with you. I'm not 100% sure. So I overheard somebody on one of the streams one night talking about taking asset packs and migrating them to other things or exporting packs and
Yeah.
stuff. So generally it only works well with actual Unreal packs, but we'll see if I can get you a few assets here and there. Since I'm kind of like helping you learn how to do some of this stuff.
Need to.
This is why I keep telling you to get the monthly giveaways, Mike. Because this is where I got a lot of these packs, except for the 4 that Troy got me.
Can add the stroke here so I get a little bit more. I can visualize it a bit better. Okay, here we go. I should add some more buildings to here.
And make sure that the supports aren't going to punch through the plaster wall, that they actually have support. That's something I find myself looking at video games now. It's like, well, that wall's going to fall over the minute they do that because, you know, it's just like, oh, come on, stop it.
Yeah, and I'm going to open this and so I get the 3D. Oh, I need to save it as a new version here. So, yeah.
Do we have
stroke? And I'm going to turn off the shadow layer. There we go.
No, I didn't. Okay, so, oops. I need to.
And now I need to save the whole shebang here. So I need to.
So you're overlapping just the tiniest bit.
Take this out, and
then I'm going to stretch you.
And copy merged. Go in new here.
It's a little too far.
Save that one, and then save it as a JPEG. Do I have a texture here, or where did I save it? Yep, I did save it though. Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised I'm not a little bit grumpier than I am because I have a tooth that is giving me all kinds of issues.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
One of those lovely fillings from when I was a kid that was metal. I've finally disintegrated the tooth.
Yep.
So now it's like, oh, you want a toothache? Here you go. I got one for you.
Yep.
So.
And now.
And.
That's terrible when that happens. Yeah.
Ugh, I hate toothaches. They're royal. Like you say, a royal pain in the keister. What? I did it on this side of the roof too. It's all jacked up. What did I do?
Here I can actually look at the current file in 3D, so I can see where the buildings are placed in the terrain properly.
I figured out what I did.
Yeah.
This one is off. Let's see, I got those. And I need to get all of these that are attached to the front.
Hang on a second here. Is that... I need to...
And
there's a couple of areas of interest here that I need to move around and check.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so I'm going to probably mess up my roof line, but it's not lined up like it should be. Bring you back just a little bit.
It's not too bad.
And bring you
kind of works.
So you're kind of lined up.
Okay, so now I just need to see if I can wrap up this area today. That is the final bit of the urbanized area here.
That in.
That's probably a little bit this area here and this area here, because I have too many trees here. I need to remove some of this because this is where some of the battles stood in the during the war. So they rebuilt a bunch of houses and stuff here and on this side too. So
okay, so that one needs to go forward just a little bit.
Okay, so now I can
And
move this
now I
over
gotta
to my
fix
right
this.
screen here and have that as a reference and go in here and start painting again.
And play with the alignment.
Yeah, and this is one of the little features here that I've added.
Oh,
Say let's okay. When you make a world level map, do you have a future?
do you have future adventure operas in your head? Are you
Yes, it depends on what scale. When I do maps at this level, so I'm at the new scale of porta potty scale, so to speak, I definitely have adventures in mind. But I basically have adventures in mind the whole time. I try to keep one leg firmly in the history and the description and stuff, and the other one I try to fill in the gaps because most of the maps I do they have way more detail than that is in the text. And I need to try and figure out what stories are there that we haven't heard about and what stories could be told in an area. And so I try to envision what the area looks like and who lives there and what happens and what could happen and what have happened, and then try to visualize what kind of landscape would facilitate those stories, so to speak, and then make that landscape happen. And now I need to drink a little bit here. My voice get real bad. So there we go. Sorry about that. Oh, thank you. Yep, this is part of the fun, and it's also very much the role of a fantasy cartographer. But when you read the text, it's most writers and game designers and the people that write the stories and stuff, they concentrate on the iconic areas. You have the big city, the deep forest, the tall volcano, the big desert, the enormous jungle, the big plains. But it's those areas that ties these iconic locations together that are not mentioned in the text. That is the bit that, as a cartographer, I have to focus usually on the things that the writers don't talk about, the areas that are just smoothed over. What is between the mountain range and the desert, or what's between the jungle and the desert, or what are the surroundings around the volcano. We know the volcano is over here and the big forest is over there and the big city is 500 miles in that direction, but what is between the big city and the top of the volcano? Those are the key bits. So it's very much filling in the gray or the white areas, or the areas in between. That is usually what you need to, yeah, lies here. But what is surrounding the death and the monsters and stuff? So it's the non-iconic areas that you usually have to work the most with. And it also depends on what scale you have to, the resolution, meaning how much detail, what can you actually see on the map you're working with. And this is a map that has, each pixel is 5 feet, so this I can see lots and lots of stuff. But there's still things that you can't really see, and somewhat you have to, it's all about simplification, because even in a map like this, even something that is 5 feet, I can't put everything in there, and it needs to be simplified to some degree all the time, so to speak. But there are some design ideas. When I worked with this city, this is the city of Critwall. So let me just go in and add some strokes so we get a little bit more. So we have the city defenses. So we have the central quarters here, the original that was back, it was a Flan hill fort, and then it was added in, and the shield reclaim temple was built when the Origians came and took over, and then they built this, the first city ward, so to speak, or the quarters, and then they started to be, they got imperial ambitions, so they started pouring in money. It was supposed to be a really anthill. Yes, exactly. Yep.
Anthill level. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. So
give her time. She'll do it.
Yep. Oh, that's your job, Linda. You're the anthill level. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm anthill level. Okay,
Oh,
got it.
thank you, Troy. Yep. Yeah, sitting on rock and roll. Yep. Yeah, so my idea of the development of the city is first you started here with the first hill fort. We added the shield reclaim as the big temple on the next little mountain. Hang on a second. Let's look at this in 3D instead. It makes more sense from 3D.
Okay, it's my turn to complain. If anybody out there makes models, make sure your textures line up
Mm-hmm.
when they're
Yeah,
meant to be put together like this. It's like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah. So originally we have the two peaks here, so to speak. These are actually old volcanoes that have been dead for millions of years, but there's kind of eroded down to these two peaks. So they built the original hill fort on this hill, and then the shield reclaim on the neighboring hill, and then they built the first city block here on this other section next to the hills here. That was the next city block, and then they got imperial ambitions. So when the Great Kingdom was formed, and they started to they wanted to make this into the bastion of the north, so to speak, as a staging ground for further conquest and stuff. They poured in money and wanted to make it into a big city, because it was, but these two wards, it was only a city of maybe 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. It was a city built for 5,000 or so. And then what they did was that they built the port area here, so they made a wall down to the port area on the northern and southern side. And then they also realized that they wanted to enclose the whole tip of the peninsula, so they built a wall down here as well. And then they started two big projects. One was to build a wall around the rest of the mesa here. So they basically enclosed the rest of the mesa as one quarter up here. And then they wanted to be even more ambitious and build a wall around the whole northern tip here. So they would basically enclose this whole area behind the wall. The problem was that they didn't have enough manpower to build all of the walls, and they also didn't have enough citizens or inhabitants to make it really useful or worth it to enclose all of this. And a lot of the rich people and other people, they didn't want to live down here on the slopes. They wanted to live up here on the top of the mesa. So this project here was abandoned after they built like a quarter or so. So there's only the first bits of the wall. There are some of the towers and keeps along here, and the little ferry harbor here, and so on. That was all that was left. So it was only partially built. It was never fully realized, because this area wasn't as attractive to live in. Most people wanted to live up here at the other bigger ward next to the big city, so to speak.
Yes, Troy, that's exactly what it is. You
Yep.
get moss, you get moss, you get a sign, you get moss.
Mhm.
Yep. Exactly what it's going to be, is hiding all these little imperfections.
Yep.
But that's my whole point, is when people are making modular content like this, make sure you have either textures that don't tile, or you make it so it's matches up. Like
Mhm.
these roof sections. The
Yep.
shingles do not match. No matter what I do, I can't get it to match because they're not lined up. You can see it right there. You can see this piece is a different size than this one, so the texture doesn't line up. So I got this big chunk sticking down here now
Oh.
because he didn't do it right.
But it can be kind of cool in a way. But sometimes I totally get it. Why it can
But
be
I have to hide that now with
Yeah.
a big chunk of wood or something, so it
Yep.
doesn't look like somebody built the thing wrong.
The carpenter screwed up. So yep.
Exactly. And that's the kind of thing that irritates me when people make
Yep.
modular stuff. It's like, come on,
Yep.
make it so it 100% fits, and it makes it nice and neat looking.
And then I can add a bit more on the defensive side here, so to speak. So they also realized that you have the shortest span across the peninsula here. They made this, right now it just looks like a stone wall, but this is actually an earth wall, so to speak, with some rocks at the top. So that's what I will make it into once I'm done with it. So I'm basically marked it out, and they only have one entry through that wall in order to make it easier to defend.
The map history is very cool. So many real life comparisons.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anna's very, very knowledgeable in fantasy and real life
Yep.
history.
Yep. So this
Um,
is my idea of you have to you should see because cities don't most cities some fantasy cities might show up overnight so to speak but most of them are built they have ambition some things go through something are not so there's history built in into the city so a lot of the road network and you can see some of it up here I put it in because you have the original the original first there was a keep here a small keep on top and then they built a bigger one down here next to it because they were firmer ground and then and they had that one and then they rebuilt this one afterwards and originally the gate in was actually here so if you look at the city the up here the original way in was through here and because this is originally the this was the main gate in and then it went straight through all the way in here so when you got through the gate you could see through the city up to the main keep so to speak but then when they built this big part here they realized that now this part down here is not the main gate now they made a gate here and have the road down to this part of the city is the main gate so then but then they had already started to build this that is the high garden up here for the commander and some of the top brass and stuff this is kind of a showroom so to speak for visitors and stuff to show off what the shield lands are capable of so they built this kind of entry keep here and then they made a parade ground in here that goes like in a boulevard through here with trees and stuff. And then they made a parade ground in front of here, and then they have workshops and other temples and stuff like that here. So they redesigned the city, but the grid network, there's still a little bit of boulevard here that are left and still used occasionally if you have special guests that come from this harbor and up here they get like a little bit of an entry. So there's all of a sudden this part has become a compromise between the old and the new, so to speak. Yep. So that's my idea of it. And so it's kind of and this is also a mishmash. Originally, the main road was all it was actually through here, but then they built the some of the tournament grounds and stuff. So they built a new one on the side here, and they rebuilt things, and so it's kind of yeah, things are happening. Yep. Hmm.
yeah. I don't know which channel. What is your project and setting? My project and setting is absolutely nothing at the point. I'm just playing with a pack and building buildings that I'm going to make into packed assets
Hmm.
that I can use in other projects.
Cool.
So this is all part of my main library that I'm building. So I have all these buildings built that I can just grab it from each project and bring it into the next one.
Yeah.
On my channel, though, on YouTube channel, Steel Valkyrie, I have a video. I think it's called Nargenstall Almost Done. That's one of the full sculpts I've done. So
Yeah.
still have a few tweaks left to do on it because I'm still learning some of the concepts, but
Hmm.
for the most part, it's done. If you want to see, what can really be done with what my skill level is. So um, that's the only project I've really fully completed because it was a gift for Wolfgang Bauer from Kobold Press. So I wanted to get it done for Christmas and surprise him,
Yeah.
which is why I work so hard on it during the streams. So, and now that that's done, I'm going to start working on learning other concepts and putting the rest of this stuff together.
Hmm. Oh, that was the wrong layer. I'm painting forest, or not painting
That's got
forest.
supports under it.
There we go. I'm going to paint buildings, and I'm going to put together the no, not color
There we
overlay,
go.
but stroke. I have the stroke on, so
All
okay.
right.
Here we go. Now I can start painting buildings in here. So I'm
All right.
painting
Save all
harbor
this.
buildings, and now I need to remove some of the forest here. So I'm going to.
And Tailspire, I do not believe you can import UE assets. I wish you could, because I would use Tailspire in a heartbeat.
Hmm.
But I don't believe you can. I've never really played with it though, because I don't own it at this point.
That
Um,
that seems to be one of my standing gripes with a lot of these BTTs, and most of them. They have turned into platforms to buy stuff more
mhm.
than tools to use. Meaning, Fantasy Grounds and all of the other ones. When they and I've tried a lot of them. I have some of them, and I have bought Fantasy Grounds. I've used Roll20. I have bought Foundry, and so on. And a lot of them, when they send their newsletter and stuff, it's all about all the modules and the plugins and stuff that I
Mhm.
can buy. So they all want to. They don't show me all the cool features. They just show me all the modules and stuff that I can purchase on their shop this week, or all the new and stuff all the time. And me, who makes my own adventures and run my own adventures, to me that is not really interesting. So it might be for most gamers, but not for me. So that's why I fell in love with Albert Rodeo, because it's just a tool to move tokens around and show maps.
And quite honestly, I
Yeah.
really like Owlbear Rodeo too. It's
Hmm.
simple and my players love it.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue with it because I don't like the automation
Yeah.
that a lot of the other ones
Yeah.
do.
I don't need that in the VTT, so to speak. I have that all the rules and stuff in Obsidian MD, and
Um,
that's where I want it. So yeah.
Owlbear Rodeo is just a browser-based,
I'm
and you
going.
know it better than I do.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
let you
going to
describe
show
it.
the. Hang on a second here.
You
Albert.
know it much better than I do,
Yeah,
so.
Albert Rodeo app.
But I tried it with my players the last time we played, and they were just like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Because I had it on a
Yeah,
table
there's
and
two versions. That is
ready
the
to
the
go.
up and coming version. The version that will be in June. I think they will come. This is in the beta. They have
Mm.
an old version that you can find under. Hang on a second. That they will make open source. That is more primitive. So uh,
And Thomas McKay on my YouTube, thank you very much for the good job. Thank you, thank you.
yeah,
Um, I have a blast with this. It's like playing with Legos, like when I was a kid,
yeah.
and I love playing with Legos.
Yeah, so
So,
so that owlbear.rodeo, that's right. That will be the future address for the future version, but that is the old version, so to speak, the
all right.
version one, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Obsidian MD, I love it. It's the coolest tool ever, but it has
As
a steep learning curve in the beginning. It's a big hump to get over. It requires a lot of TLC, and you need to put 50 or 100 hours into learning
nope,
it.
wrong
But
way.
once you
Ah,
put that in and set it up, it's the best tool I've ever experienced by far, and I've tested almost all of them. And I worked
and
a lot of times in Realmworks, World Anvil, and all of these other tools have
okay,
their
that's where
advantages, and
there.
and they are great in many respects, so to speak. World Anvil especially, I must say. And when it comes to World Anvil, it's not so much the tool, but the community is awesome. It's world class. So hats off to Dimitri and Janet, who built the coolest world building fantasy world building community on the planet. And just for that reason alone, it's really cool. And I still have a pained, uh, but I don't use World Anvil anymore because Obsidian functions better for my use. But I can recommend World Anvil, especially if you want to have to be part of the coolest community. Obsidian is starting to have a tabletop role-playing game community too, that does stuff. So it's getting there. But there are many cool options now, and each are depending on what you need. Your needs are. If you want the most tweakable, cool tools that you can find, that is the most versatile for your campaign needs, I would choose Obsidian. If you want an easy to set up, really comprehensive tool for managing your role playing game campaign, and you want to show it off to your players and the world Anvil is probably the best way to go. And then there's a bunch of other tools too.
Okay, so
Okay, thank you, Pete Bog. Have fun, have happy gaming.
Yes, happy gaming. Um,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm building, putting in the harbor stuff here. So I'm.
This is one big gripe I have about Unreal. I don't know
Uh-huh.
if it's me doing it or whatever, but when I import new pieces or I duplicate new pieces, it never puts it in the folder I have selected. It drives me insane.
Mm-hmm.
So all this
Yeah.
stuff I just added to these two buildings is in a different folder than the rest of the building. It's like, ugh, why? So that's my gripe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We're
That's.
having a gripe session tonight, Anna. That's
Yeah,
not a good
exactly.
thing.
Now I need to stop griping here. But no, I actually, the last bit was not griping. That was actually,
No,
I
we're
was
doing pretty good, I guess.
I was actually praising all the cool tools you can use for campaign management, like Obsidian, World Anvil, and there are various others that are. Even Foundry has some cool com compendiums and stuff you can build inside and stuff. So
As a not user of Fantasy Grounds, but I use it in my job. Basically, I
hmm
do Kobold Press. I'm a fan of Fantasy Grounds to a certain limit, and then I stop. It's just,
I started out. That was the first VTT I started to use regularly,
hmm
and Fantasy Grounds has some. If you want to put in the same amount of work you would do in Obsidian to manage your campaign in order to automate your game in a VTT, then Fantasy Grounds might be the tool for you, so to speak. And once you learn the clunky UI, it's not clunky anymore. Then you become an expert in it. But if you just want to go in and quickly set up a game and run without too much trouble, then no, I don't think Fantasy Grounds. But on the other hand, if you want to buy modules and run them, then Fantasy Grounds probably has a bigger selection of or library of models than modules than any other.
and I know like people like Foundry and stuff. I found Foundry very, very cumbersome to use for me, but that's me.
Yeah,
I'm not one that
Foundry's
likes a lot
cool
of
with a
code.
fantastic UI and a lot of tweakability. If you like to
Yep.
code and tweak and stuff and make cool stuff and have your own rule system, for instance, and stuff, I think you should definitely and want a lot of automation and possibilities. Then I think Foundry can really be something for you.
hmm And like I said, each to each his own. I mean, you
Yeah.
do what works for you.
hmm
So,
Roll20 is kind of the big kind of fairly easy to get into. You can do a lot of stuff, easy to run in a browser and stuff, and also have a huge library of stuff and a lot of official D&D stuff. Do Fantasy
yeah,
Grounds still
and
has a D&D license?
as far as I know,
Yeah,
um,
they
I just
do.
do it for a living. I don't
hmm
actually use Fantasy Grounds anymore because my
No, I've
players
stopped.
don't
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
automation.
I
So,
think they still do have a 5e license. So yeah,
yeah, they're still releasing stuff,
yeah. And
so it
Foundry is
should
big
be.
into Pathfinder these days. Yep.
Yep. And I'm not knocking any of them. It's just that I choose not to use them.
It's
So,
different what you emphasize on, and if you run pre-made modules or if you run homebrew, that's one big difference. If you want a lot of automation, or if you want to more classic roll dice and just move, if you just want to show maps and move tokens around, or if you want full automation or somewhere in between.
yeah, and it's all choice
Yeah.
basically. Um,
And play style and stuff. So yeah.
yeah, but I gave it up to my players. I showed them what Fantasy Grounds can do, and they said, "No, we want to roll dice." I said, "Okay,
hmm
we're good."
And the same thing,
So,
we can in my campaign we can, when I run using Albert Rodeo, you can either roll digital
nice.
dice in Albert Rodeo, or you can roll old school, just roll on the table real dice and so on. So yeah.
And that's awesome if you guys are finding them to work
hmm
wonderfully for you.
Yep.
Like I said, I do it for a living, and it's just one of those things that I find it very, very cumbersome to use some of the
Yep.
VTTs.
But there is so much happening in that space at the moment. So I think that, meaning I've seen almost daily, if I go surf on Facebook for 10 minutes, I see ads for 3 or 4 new Kickstarters with VTTs or 3D VTTs, 2D VTTs, campaign managers and stuff. So this is a very crowded space. There's
hmm
new things, new tools being announced almost weekly, daily, and so we'll see. I'm pretty sure that some of the ones we have today will be around in some years to come because they've learned that. But some of the ones, I'm not going to name names here, but there are some of them that I think will be replaced or dethroned in a few years because they haven't developed much the last few years. So yeah.
Right, until
And
what's
Wizard of the
it?
Coast, exactly. They will be the new 800-pound gorilla to beat, so to speak. So yeah,
Roll20 has its own place.
I think so
It's a
too.
unique setting that they use,
And then
and
they also been, yeah. So there is so much happening, and one of the things I'm surprised that hasn't happened earlier is that that I would see. I've seen a couple of examples of VTTs developing their own rule system. I think that will be more common in the future. You can get a VTT with the rule system built in. That will be my guess that they will come. So the integration will be built in from scratch, so to speak, rather than licensed. Yeah.
are you okay? So why are you not showing me where I can put that?
Yeah.
Um, quite honestly, and I'm probably speaking more than I should here. I'm worried about Fantasy Grounds, quite honestly.
Oh, I've been
Um,
for a while. Yeah.
well,
Hmm.
being on the inside and seeing what's being released as developer and stuff like that, there's a lot of things that I'm kind of like, why? Why? But they must have a plan because they're going full steam ahead and it seems to be popular. So
And
more power to them.
yeah, and
So,
also they've also been around for a while and they have a huge user base. So even if they
mhm,
don't grow, they can. I'm sure they can stay in business for years to come, regardless. So yeah,
mhm.
they just need
And
to innovate a bit more. That's my advice to them. So they need to. Yeah.
any place that you can play BattleTech is a good place for me because I love BattleTech.
Okay.
As you
Yeah.
can tell by my thing, I
Hmm.
have BattleTech. I love BattleTech. The Banshee is my favorite model. Oops, wrong one.
Yeah. Now I need to
Um,
go in here
that's
and.
the one I bring into any fight, and people just go, "Oh crap, not the Banshee again." Yep,
Hmm.
here I come. Look out. The Banshee and the Marauder are my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, I'm nerding out completely. Oh, the Thunderbolt. Yep, that's a good one too. Um, I try not to buy too many models because I have an army sitting on my shelf that never gets used because my local players decided, oh no, we don't want to play anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me? After I bought all of it, it's like, oh, we're moving on to Flames of War, I think it was they went to. I'm like, ugh, guys, come on, I just bought these and I'm not buying a new army. So you guys are really ruining my mojo. So yeah, I was not impressed when they said that. So I was like, okay. Oh, let's see. Is this in? That's block two. Why are you in block two? You're block one, and you're not letting me move it to block one. Why? Oh, because part of it is in block one.
Oh, you're having not normal issues, but what kind of issues do you have today?
I'm trying to get it sorted so everything's in one folder for this
Uh-huh.
this chunk of model, and
Yeah.
half of it's in block one, half of it's in block two. It's just stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm arguing with Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it does not put things where I want them to be.
Okay.
Um, so like when I was getting in creative mode, I wasn't paying attention to where I was putting things. So it's like, now I have to fight with it and move it to block one
Yeah.
and get it organized so I can make it into a blueprint. Because I got to have everything together in one spot to make it into a blueprint. And you can't do that when it's spread across all these other thingies. And there. And all right, have a good night, Pint and Pie.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping in.
Good night.
And I've been ignoring the stream over here. And everything is looking good.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We have
Cool.
zero dropped frames, so this seems to
Nice.
work
Nice.
just fine. So yeah, it's good.
Yep. And the bit rate is a little slow on YouTube, but I don't think it's going to cause any issues, so
Okay.
we should
Good.
be just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be block 1. Move to block 1.
Oops, and
And
I'm
you're
building
in
a...
block 1.
Here they're going to have a little shipyard where I'm going to make a... They dug out here so they can have some little docks and stuff in here, so...
Save it so it doesn't give me all kinds of issues.
There we go.
And that's in there.
So, and now I need to start figuring out how to tie things together here.
And
there we go.
That's the corner blocks, so move to block 1. Alright, so this is all block 1. Okay. Oops. I want to go one at a time so I can actually tell it's here. Yeah, because I'm going to make this into a blueprint that I can use in any project. All I have to do is import it.
Yeah.
Or migrate it into the thing. Wait. Where are those at? They're over there. So I don't want... Oh, you dumb thing.
There we go.
My thing doesn't show up there.
Now I can actually put in
so
some roads again.
Door 6. Yep. So this one through this one needs to move to block 1. Block 2. Okay, where's that one? That's block 1. So door 8 is block 1. Block 1. Door 6 is over here. Door 9 is back over here. I spend more time moving things around from folder to folder trying to keep my builds together. And it's annoying. Okay, so those 3 are... wait a second, where's that one at? Over there. So I want these 5. Move to block 1.
Yeah, now I need to... Hang on a second here, where did they...
This one...
There we go.
Is block 2, block 2.
Then put that one in there.
Those are all block 2. I think I might have all of my block 1s. Nope. There's one that popped in. So this one needs to go to block 1. Because if I don't get all the pieces, then I'm in trouble when it comes to actually making the blueprint. Because then I'll have gaping holes in my buildings, and they're not easy to do once you put them in a blueprint form.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one is block 1.
So, and now I need to remove the... I need to keep track of all the layers. There's like 45 layers or something in this file, so I need to keep a track of all of them here. So
it's something you love is lots of layers.
Well, it's because that way I can keep editability. Now I can remove and add buildings, for instance, or stuff. So,
I know, I'm just giving you grief.
Oh yeah, but it's the I love my layers.
Gotta give you
I have
grief,
a love-hate relationship, because when they too many, I feel they're too many, but they're still needed. So, which is kind of yeah.
I'm just as bad with my organization in Unreal. Is just it gets to be too much sometimes.
Yeah.
And but I have reasons for doing most of it.
I'm going to divide up the port in 2. So here is the commercial civilian port, so to speak, with goods going in and out, and this is the naval part here, or the naval shipyard thingy. So this is where they put like more warships and other vessels that they want extra protected, and also where they build ships. So they it's more restricted. So they have. So I'm going to add a little keep there on this part, and then add here, a
two
section of the wall here
block
going
one,
in there.
and that's
And then we
not.
add a keep there for the road that goes in.
This one,
So
this one,
there's two
this
entries in
one.
here, and those gates are bigger
Two
because they need to move big things in and out. So now I need to tweak the road a bit here.
Okay, that one, that one, that one, that one.
So I'm going to move it that way out. I'm just going to move it straight out and have a little plaza outside there. And then
Move to
there we go.
one. And I lost track of where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay though.
And I'm going to move it in here. There we go. And then I will have a bunch of warehouses and stuff outside, and those are the ones that supply the timber and a lot of the furnishings and various things for the ships and stuff. So, and then there will be I will add more of these tiny houses and stuff where the people that work here lives usually.
Little huts kind of thing.
Yeah, small little building, because they have a proper job, so they don't grow their own food or anything like that in the backyard and keep a lot of animals and stuff. They just have a little tiny place to sleep and raise their family. So yeah.
It'd be like common shopkeepers and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also a lot of the yard workers and and people that have jobs maintaining ships and boats, and also things like porters and loaders and all these people that just carry things and stow things on ships and unload them and stuff, because we are talking medieval standard, not containers here. So everything needed to be hauled in and out manually out of boats, and that required a lot of labor. So yeah. Now it's my turn to have a terrible throat today.
Yeah, usually it's me fighting with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not drinking coffee with creamer in it tonight, so that's a big difference.
Yep, and I haven't drunk only water in this, and I'm still my voice is terrible. Yep. Here we go. Okay, so that was the next little bit here. Now I need to start thinking about first. I'm going to remove even more of the trees. The reason they had a lot of trees in here, as much as possible, and also in here, is a strategic reserve. So in case of a siege, they want to have trees inside the walls, both for fuel, for making repairs, and as a resource. So they don't chop down all the trees inside. They want to keep it. So they've been systematically growing them. And originally they were growing lots of them over here, down here too. But after the Ayusian invasion, that in my campaign reached all the way up towards here, a lot of these trees were burnt down or chopped down and stuff and used. So there's only a few trees left here and there that are starting to grow back. So that's why, especially out here, most of these trees here was that there were way more trees here before the wars. But after the wars, is almost all trees are gone. It was like a moonscape here after the couple of years of siege and stuff. But now it's almost like 18-20 years ago. So now nature is starting to recover. But in here, this part here was not, the Ayusian troops didn't reach this bit in my campaign, so therefore they have a lot of it. And here is another reserve forest, so to speak, that they keep for in case. So, and in some cities that are more kind of poor and that have less organization, so to speak, they will have less trees because people will just go out and chop down the trees, because it's easier to chop down the tree next door, so to speak, and burn it than it is to go and buy firewood or get it from somewhere else. But this is an organized city where have very few dirt poor people. It's this my shield lands are this is a lawful good society, and they need people right now because they have a shortage of them. So therefore that the living standard is low but rising, so people feel like it's getting better. So they're starting to have hope. and that means that there are trees growing and people preserve their surroundings, and that they're poor standards, but is rising. And it's
Okay, so I need
been also it's been gone through several iterations from
this.
Flan strong point to Erdian Iridian outpost to one of the major frontier cities for the great empire, and then it became a kind of a backwater afterwards when the great kingdom started to fall apart, and Furiundi was formed, and Shieldland was kind of in between, and then it became a staging point for a small country, and then the Shieldlands grew and was more organized, and that then it started to be be wealthy again and getting up there, and then it was invaded, and the big wars and the invasion came and crashed down again. And now Shieldlands as an organization, the knights are stronger than they ever been in a lot of ways, and well organized. Money is pouring in, and they now become a bit like Ukraine would be at the end if they're starting to win. It's they got a lot of support from the surrounding world, and they are now on the forefront in the fight against IUs. That's how I see it in my campaign. So it's a different role. So it's shifted over the years. So what I can do is that I can take a lot of these, since the buildings and stuff are on the separate layers, I can take a lot of it and redo it in different time periods back in the day too. So that's part of
That should be in block 2.
stuff.
Yes,
and I have
it
some
is in
this area here and this area here are actually leftovers from the war. So this is where a lot of refugees have to shed up little huts and stuff. This was a common grazing ground, and then they during the when the worst of the siege and stuff were, they simply refugees poured in and they built little huts and stuff for them here to because they needed the labor and stuff, so it was good in that sense, but they had a shortage of housing and organized, so that just ended up, so it's starting to be dismantled and not used, but it's still there. So because they didn't want to house many in here because they needed the land to grow food and stuff, so this was one of the areas they could spare, so that's why a lot of them ended up there. So hi, Clever.
Mm-hmm. And
welcome.
we have everything's looking good over there.
Yep.
And
so now I need to start building road network again here.
Okay, and how long have we been live? I don't even know.
I have no idea what the time is. We have been live for 2 hours, almost to the minute. 1 hour,
Oh, nice.
57 minutes, 58 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we can go like another 15 minutes or so.
Let's see. Hello, Clever, and you're calling time on us. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Savage, Anna, I was looking over the Ravenloft Curse of Strahd book. How do you feel about a campaign in basically a Sigil world map hex, like Barovia is 12 by 18 miles?
That's an interesting question, and I'm going to pitch that over to Linda, because she has adventured and run games and stuff way more in Barovia than I've only played a few times. That's my experience. So Linda, what do you say about Barovia and the world of Ravenloft?
I would not have a problem in there because I know the lore of Ravenloft.
Yeah.
And the lore of Ravenloft is so deep that people don't realize how deep it actually is.
Is it physically limited to that area, or is it more but we don't know it, it's not described yet? Or
if you hold yourself to Barovia, it's very small.
But meaning do the plane end there and you get to the rain, or is it actually, can you just walk and the terrain continue, or what do we know anything about that?
They are actual demiplanes. Each world within Ravenloft is a demiplane.
So they are kind of their own little thing.
Mm-hmm. And there's 14 or 15 different demiplanes that people don't even know exist most of the time.
Yeah.
There's one that has a Frankenstein-like character that is the big baddie.
Mm-hmm.
There's Strahd in Barovia. There's Jack the Ripper as the baddie in one of them, and there's so many different ones that people don't that if you don't dig into the history of Ravenloft and all that stuff, you do not know all that. So, but yeah, I have no problem running in one area because I know the lore and I can throw all kinds of lore into it. So,
Yeah. It
um,
yeah, it's interesting. But for me, it's like a world that is only 12 by 18 miles would be kind of awesome from a mapping perspective, because I would just make it. I will map it with 10 pixels per 5 feet or something like that, or 20 or
mhm.
30. I will make it for VTT, and that will be it, so to speak. So in some ways, it's fantastic to have a map, that a world that fits into a neat format, and I can just detail the heck out of it and just keep adding it and so on. That's the battle map scale. Yeah, exactly. That's my
Yep.
my little campaign map, so to speak. And in some ways that's awesome. But on the other hand, to me it will feel cramped. It will feel really cramped. If that's all there is, that will be real tough for me. What I
See,
can say is that it will be interesting. Meaning, I can see a parallel. You can say if it's a demiplane, you can say like the city of Sigil, meaning it's just a city, but there's a lot of things coming in and out. Meaning, you can go when you level up, or somewhere you can go places, and then you can come back again. And even more interesting, other things come in, come and go. So in some ways, I can see. Meaning, I did the first year we just played in the village of Aldet, and we had
mhm.
session after session in the village. And the first 20 sessions, you didn't even go outside the walls.
Right,
You were
right.
basically just in the few buildings and in the keep, and inside the walls, and peeked out through the gate. That was about it. So we
Mhm.
started out with basically 1 square mile of the world for 25 sessions were 1 square mile. And then, but I knew the rest of the world was there, and but we didn't use it. So in some sense, it's kind of cool to limit it. But on the other hand, I don't want the world to be that limited by nature. I want it more like, okay, we stay here and adventure here for now, but I want the world to be much bigger.
Mhm. The reason I like the demiplane and the whole
Yeah,
premise behind the demiplanes are that the people that are the dreadlords of the
yeah.
demiplanes are people that have been removed from the current world.
Mhm.
So instead of letting IUs just go nuts within the world and destroy half the Flyness,
Yeah.
the gods or dark powers behind it have taken that person and made a realm that he in a little pocket plane that he can just destroy, do whatever he wants
Mhm.
with, and it keeps regenerating itself.
Yeah.
And he keeps coming back if he's killed and all this stuff.
Mhm.
That's the way I play Ravenloft.
Yeah.
I play it that every one of them is a member of normal society, but they've been brought back um, into the different demiplanes just so they can be isolated. And I have a totally different view of Ravenloft than a lot of people do. I view it as the dragon gods because I'm a huge dragon fan.
Mhm.
The dragon gods like Io, Bahamut, Tiamat, and all the gem dragons have gotten together and said, okay, we need to step in and do something. There's humans that are destroying this. There's created people that are destroying all this. We need to step in and we're going to do this because I
Yeah.
base all my stuff off of Council of Worms, where the dragons are the leaders of this whole thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, but that's my view is that the gods have taken their thing and said, okay, these guys are wreaking havoc on our world that we created. We don't like this. We're going to go, chase them down and get rid of them,
Mhm.
kind of thing. So that's how I play Ravenloft. I
Yeah.
never play it strictly by the book because there's some things that just don't make sense in the world of Ravenloft,
Okay. Yeah.
but the majority of it does. So, um, but mine is, I've thought long and hard about it because I've been a fan of Ravenloft ever since I discovered Strahd. So,
Yeah, I've only played a few times in it, and I never really. It's not my forte, especially not running it, so to speak. So
mhm.
yeah, but I've had fun sometimes when I played in, and especially the last time we played at GaryCon, and it was Guild Superior.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, DM Dave. He ran a fantastic game. We were a whole bunch of people. That was super fun. That was the first time I felt I really succeeded in being a player in and embraced the setting. So
Hmm.
that was super fun. The other times have been a bit awkward, but that was yeah.
And my question to Savage is, did he get you the WotC books or the old books for Ravenloft?
Ah, the
If he
TSR
got you
books.
the
Yeah.
new stuff, then I would not, in my opinion, even shake a stick at those books, to be honest, because those books are so light on the lore that if you can have access to them, you want to go back to the old 2.0 and 2 or 1.0 AD&D and D and read about Ravenloft because that will
Hmm.
really develop the world for you and give you a true sense of what the world is like.
Yeah.
Curse of Strahd is an organized mess, in my opinion. I have never flipped so much in a book in my life to find references and
Hmm.
maps and all this stuff. And the Ravenloft Revisited isn't much better. So if you have access to the older stuff, give it a good serious read. Especially the stuff the Von Richten's guides, because you'll really, really pick up the lore, and that's where Ravenloft is going to shine for you.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very heavily studied on Ravenloft, so I'm speaking my honest truth. I do
Hmm.
not like the WotC Ravenloft at all.
So you like the old
So
TSR better?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I like the old TSR much, much better.
Yeah. And I've read through some of them because there's some Greyhawk related lore in there, but so
Hmm.
I read through some of them and that's about it.
And the
And then
reason I
played.
chose
Yeah.
the view I have of Ravenloft
Yeah.
is because of Vecna.
Uh-huh.
Vecna was sent to Ravenloft after he left the Flanaess.
Hmm.
That's how it's written if you read the lore.
Yeah.
When he disappears, he's sent to he's disappeared from Flanaess. And if you read the lore of Ravenloft, he's one of the dreadlords of, I forget which one he's a dreadlord of. But there's, like I said, 14 of them. But that's where I got my thing where he's a big bad guy. He's causing all kinds of havoc, and the dragons just say, no. And they create all these little um, demiplanes for the guys that are wreaking the most havoc to try and keep peace within the world.
Hmm.
Because if you read Council of Worms, the dragons are peacekeepers. They're not evil unless you get to the red dragons. And then the red dragons are only after the people that are, or the other races of dragons. They don't even really want anything to do with humans or elves or anything like that. So that's my take on it, is I take a lot of the old stuff and put it all together and mission mash it and, you know, um, and it's probably a view that a lot of people don't agree with, but that's my view.
I
So,
have a variant of that in my campaign and
mhm,
spoiler alert, but it's in the Shieldlands campaign. The top villains in my campaign, in many ways, are Bahamut and Tiamat.
mhm.
Are the ultimate top villains in my campaign, so to speak.
Bahamut is a god, king of the good dragons. Come
Yes,
on.
yep. So Bahamut and Tiamat are basically it's a turf war between them, and I use putting
I could see that.
wrenches and is playing his part, so to speak, and a bunch of others too. But when it comes to the ultimate super villains, good bad,
Hmm.
that means that Tiamat and Bahamut are the ones that are currently, or even higher, you have Asmodeus behind Bahamut, so to speak. So it's
Hmm.
basically between the good and evil are playing out and see who will win, so to speak. It's
Oh, I could
yeah.
definitely see that.
Yep.
Definitely.
So my it's very much that way, and it's played out on a setting scale over. It's a game that has gone on for 700-800 years, something like that, in my
Hmm.
campaign. So almost a millennia now. So it's and these things happen slowly and but painfully, and sometimes sudden shifts, and then it builds slowly and the momentum and stuff like that. So it's not on human time scales. It's more like on dragon elven time scales and
Hmm.
or fiendish celestial time scales, meaning it's something they probably plan to one would win over the other one in 5,000 years or so, maybe,
Hmm.
and that kind of plan, so they can pump in enormous resources for 100 years or so to build momentum, and then hope that that investment will pay off down a few, and then some unlucky or lucky humans generations might either be caught up in the maelstrom or benefit from this. And Shieldlands is now one of the beneficiaries from that type of investment.
Hmm. See, no, I can see that. Definitely can see that
Yeah,
because if you go back and read like Council of Worms and stuff like
yeah.
that, and w- because Council of Worms ties into the regular D&D lore because Eo is the ultimate god. He is the king of the dragons, period. There's, and he um governs all the dragons, and he's like the ultimate dragon. Sorry, my brain's a little disjointed tonight. Um, but all the other dragons that exist in the world and in the Flanaess and all that stuff, all are concerned with the dragons being in control and controlling what's going on. So your campaign would fit perfectly in along with the Blood Isles
Hmm.
because Tiamat and all those guys are based out of the Blood Isles. And actually, Tiamat doesn't even exist in Council of Worms. She
That's
hasn't
yeah, that's one of
even
my
done that.
my problems a little bit, because Tiamat is kind of tied in, and it simply, to me, is the Great Kingdom, where the domain that was corrupted and taken over by the nine hells. Asmodeus and Hextor was
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
taking over and run it, and now that kind of fallen apart, so they need to regroup a little bit and stuff. And then you have Bahamut, and through Hieronymus and stuff, is now starting to lead the charge and invest on the good side, so to speak. And it's very
Hmm.
much a power struggle between them.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
And
so yeah,
I don't know how the gem dragons are portrayed in 5e because I have the book, but I've honestly never read
I've
the
skipped
dragon
them.
book.
I don't have them in right now in at
Um,
all. So
but in Council of Worms, they're the peacekeepers. They're
uh-huh.
the go-betweens between them all.
I don't have
So,
any peacekeepers per se. It's the good
hmm.
guys are the peacekeepers. But on the other hand, if the bad guys or evil ones screw up, the good ones have no options
Hmm.
either than fight, so to speak. You
Yep.
will not
And
lay
the
flat.
the
And
gem dragons are true neutral. They do not get involved in the good and evil side of everything. They just basically are there. And in the Blood Isles, they keep the peace because they actually do not exist in anything outside of the Blood Isles, according to lore. So, and I'm, like I said, I'm a huge dragon idiot. So
or me
anything I
too.
can read on dragons, yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
for me, the lore in Council of Worms fits perfectly in almost every campaign if you really dig into it, if you want to go back to the ancient dragons. So, um, anyway, my little piece is said. I'm
mhm.
kind of like, I've read Council of Worms I don't know how many times, and it gives you so much fodder to tie in, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Ignore the whole humans can be dragons kind of thing, or the dragons are player characters, because there's no way to really make a dragon a player character
Oh
that's
yes, you can.
unless you're Anna.
Yeah, you can.
Um, it it
Yeah. Hmm.
it can be done, but not the way WotC writes
No,
dragons. So,
you have to wait a bit, and it can be done.
hmm.
And there is, even in Greyhawk, there is actually lore for Dragonborn.
Hmm.
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 There is a
Yep.
Greyhawk version of the Dragonborn, so it was a
Yep.
third edition thing, and so yeah, I'm
Two,
using it. Yeah.
block three. Yep. And if you go back and read some of the old stuff, especially the lore books, you'll really, really start getting um, into the understanding how the whole thing is written and where the world of D&D differs from a lot of the different worlds. Um, Vampire the Masquerade Elysium rules for D&D, or we call those Dragon PCs. That would work. Vampire the Masquerade is a unique setting in its own. You can play and fudge what all you want in those. I have never played Masquerade. I have played
I never played
World of
Masquerade either.
Darkness.
Yeah.
I played World of Darkness once, and quite honestly, the DM that we had was a very good DM, but he didn't flesh out the world that made sense to me. So, it was really hard for me to play.
Yeah, the interesting thing is for me, fantasy worlds can make sense in a lot of different ways. But the thing for me is that I think it should, from its own premises, make sense. Meaning, if magic works a certain way, if the planar alignment, good, evil, various types of monsters and stuff. Meaning, if you have super strong dragons that can overpower almost anything, then give them power, and that should come naturally, so to speak. But if so, so it should make sense from my perspective. A fantasy world needs to make sense from its own premises, so to speak, from its
Hmm.
own. Yeah, if magic is super powerful, then magic should be, people with magic should have a lot of the political power, economic power. A lot of the technical solutions would be based on magic. You would use it to make ice cream and teleport, and should mail service that runs on teleporting things and stuff like that. If magic is rare, then
Hmm.
it should be that the powerful would rely on other things rather than same thing with gods. Or if gods and priests, clergy and stuff are really powerful, they would run a lot of the show, so to speak.
Hmm.
So it's
And
simply, yeah.
personally, I never ever put cultists in my adventures because I get so sick of the cultists. It's like
Oh,
everybody has a
did
cultist
did you
somewhere in
get
the game.
sick of my cultist too?
No, your cultist is actually tied into like
Yeah,
true
I've had a
lore.
few cultists, not that many, but there's been a
It
couple in
the
my
thing that
campaign so
gets me
far.
though is everything you read, the cultist is usually the bad guy. It's like, oh,
But
come
I
on.
have good cultists too.
You
Mm-hmm.
do,
Yeah.
and your campaign is unique, and I will say that
Okay. Yeah.
because it's keeping my interest. When I think I'm going to get bored, it's like you twist it, and it's like, oh, well, that wasn't what I expected. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And you missed
So,
the last session we played where you unfortunately couldn't be there. Your character is now gaining. Yeah, you're part of history now. So yeah.
oh boy, oh God, now
Yep.
what did I
Mm-hmm.
do?
Oh yeah, you saved one of Katarina's ancestors. Your
Oh,
ancestor saved one of Katarina's ancestors, and now you were
ah,
saving her. So yeah. So she declared you a
okay.
hero of the realm, basically. Yeah.
Ooh,
Hmm.
nice.
And she
Hmm.
and yeah, and your granny gave you the over the rain as a daughter of the Aworth. It's a special. You're a cultist. You're a good cultist now. Yep.
I'm a druid. I'm not a
Oh
cultist.
yeah, you're a cultist. You're a member of a cult. Yep. Hmm. You don't have any choice now. You have to either run or become a member. No, but it's now your Sable is a member of a certain druidic cult. Yeah.
Sable, the hothead of the century,
Yep. Hmm.
that tells the archdruid basically go F yourself
Yep.
like it's a couple times.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That was so
but no,
fun when you played that
there's so
part.
many different ways you can play it, and if you like cultists in your campaign, go for it. I just get so tired of them. It's just like bleh. Because everything I've run at one time or another has a cultist in it, and it's just like, grrr, stop with the cultists already. Call them followers. They're followers. So
Yeah.
it just,
But you
I
can.
guess the terminology is what I'm complaining about.
Yeah, but also I can see if you have a society where religion is very oppressed, you will have a lot
Hmm.
of underground cults for various gods and stuff who work in secret because they're not allowed to work openly or stuff. But
I
yeah.
I don't throw a lot of gods into my games though either. I throw everyday happenings.
Hmm.
I don't do.
Yeah.
Um, and enthusiastic fans. Okay, cool, cool, cool. No, I have very unique views on D&D and all those things. So because it's just I get bored. And that's one reason I don't read fantasy books is because I get bored. Um, it just no, I don't want it. So um
Yeah, I
I
read
may
more
I may be speaking out of turn, but I just get so bored with stuff. I don't read the vampire books. I don't read and I read the Anne Rice vampire books, but that's where I stopped. And
Hmm.
I said,
I
okay,
read them
that's as
back
far
in
as
the
I'm going
day
to go.
too, but yeah.
Hmm. And Anne Rice is probably the vampire author in my book. Everything
Yeah.
else where the vampires are campy and just bleh, it's like, no, thanks. I'm good. I don't need the L, the um, what is that that campy thing that's all vampires?
Campy. That's a
The movie that came out a few years ago that was all vampires, and she's falls in love with a vampire, and then he makes
Oh,
her a
gotcha.
vampire.
Yeah, vampire and werewolves and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
I
liked them. They were cheesy, but I liked them in a way. And I was trying to tie into my teenage self
Twilight. Thank you, Cannibal.
thank you. Yeah, I tried to
Hmm.
tie into my teenage self, and to some degree I succeeded because I liked them. They were not my favorite movies by any standard, any stretch of the imagination, but I must say that they had an appeal to me. It was like,
See,
yeah,
I like the gritty movies. Like Cannibal comes up with Underworld.
yeah,
That is my thing
yeah.
of a world where it's just like, oh
Yeah.
shit, we're in
But on
trouble.
the other hand, Twilight is not something I would really use for inspiration for my D&D games. But I must say I was positively impressed because I didn't have
Hmm.
any expectations whatsoever on those movies. So when I
Hmm.
saw them, I was like, okay, I'm going to see them because it's the craze of the day, and I want to see what the heck this is.
I actually removed that from my Kindle selection because I get so tired of the vampire books. It's like,
I haven't read the
really?
books. I've just seen the one or two of the movies. I can't. I'm not sure
Well,
if yeah.
there's like
I think.
thousands of vampire books out there now, so it's
Oh
just
yeah, I
like,
haven't
okay,
read that many. Yeah,
enough. Let's move on to other stuff.
yeah.
So I look at the paranormal stuff. I'm really starting to get into the paranormal books.
But when it comes to vampires, I'm interested in if I can make vampires less Dracula and more something special for Greyhawk, so to speak. How to
Blade, I
train your
love.
vampires. Yeah.
How to Train Your Vampire, I've not seen, but I loved Blade
Uh-huh.
because I liked
But I love How to Train Your
Active with
Dragon.
Blade.
Those animated movies were fantastic. They were
Those
all
movies were cute, and I did
Oh,
like
I
those.
love them. They were so awesome. All the character stereotypes of dragons and stuff that were in
And
there were
I really liked
fabulous.
Brave.
Yeah.
Brave was another one I really
Hmm.
liked.
Yeah. So there are
Um,
some of these that are
but yeah,
absolutely
I'm
gorgeous.
very very vocal on what I like and what I don't like because it I've seen so much good stuff destroyed over the
Yeah,
years.
but
It's like,
I'm
oh,
a little bit more ambivalent. I like them a lot of stuff because it's not something I would think of. So I like to go to the movies and see films that will be Hotel Transylvania. I haven't seen that one. Thank you for
that
reminding me. I
is
need to.
freaking hilarious. I
Yes,
love
I
that
saw the
movie.
trailer and I was like, I need to see that. I forgot about
Oh
it,
my
so I
God.
need to. Yeah.
I love Hotel Transylvania. The first one is the best.
Uh huh.
But
Oh, there are more than one. Yeah.
there's two of them. But
Hmm.
yeah, I like that one too. I like the comedy side of it, but I'm just not into the vampire romance novel, blah 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 crap.
But there is something romantic, sexy with vampires. At least that's traditionally been the case. So I'm kind of yeah. But I'm kind of curious now if I'm possible to make a vampire something that feels native to Greyhawk and not just like a, a Romanian Dracula transplant, so to speak. So that
I think you
yeah,
could if you stayed away from the Romanian-esque naming conventions
that
and
too. Yeah.
the nomadic peoples. If you
Hmm.
stayed away from that, I think
Yeah,
you'd be fine.
exactly. There are aspects of vampires I need to change, and also because some of I use top henchmen are vampires. At least one,
Hmm.
Mascalane, I
Yep.
think is his name, and
The
and so I need to have. I need to start thinking how I want to use him because I think it's a him. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is just stay away from the stereotypes
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
you know,
So how
create
do I
your own
do that
version.
effect? Yeah, exactly. So I have ideas, but I have not any. I haven't decided exactly how I want to use him yet.
Well,
So yeah,
if you can snow us players with a dream sequence that we had no freaking clue what was happening,
that was one of
it,
my biggest feats as a DM. Or
it,
GM. It was like 3 sessions, 2 sessions. On the third session, you figured out that it was a
we're
dream.
fighting for our lives and the whole thing was a damn dream. We're
Yep.
like, "Oh,
Hmm.
are you kidding?"
Yep.
But yeah, it was perfect. I mean, kudos to you because I remember that one all the time. And um if it hadn't been for Chaz figuring out what the heck you were doing, it was like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
he was
I had
desperate,
no
and he
clue.
rolled 20 on his will save to figure out what's going on. So then
Hmm.
I told the whole story because he basically figured it out. So that was
Hmm.
yep
Yep.
that was fun.
Yeah, you had us snowed for like 3 sessions.
Yeah, it
Like,
was two full sessions. First, it was one half session, a full session, and another half session. So
yep.
yeah.
And then you keep tossing Dragotha in there, and it's
Oh
like, oh
yeah,
my
and I
God.
just kept because you were in her dream basically. So
Hmm.
she just played more and more hardball in the dream. So it just got worse and worse and worse. so,
Yep,
so
yep.
yeah, and you were like,
Uh,
this starting to get ridiculous. The second
it's like, come
session,
on,
this is
really?
like,
Come
what the
on.
heck? We are
Yeah,
just like fourth level. What is this? Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we were having a good time with that one.
yeah.
But I kind of had you and Chaz and the other Magnus dude going when I drug you all into Ravenloft
Oh
too.
yes.
It was
That was a
it was
good
one
one.
of those where they started out in the Medio jungle and
Yeah, I miss.
overnight
Yeah,
they
I
ended up.
miss Magnus and stuff. I really
Oh,
would
I do
like to
too.
have him in the game. He was awesome to play with. Yeah.
I'm actually taking Chaz's character and I'm making it into a Delta Green adventure.
Okay.
So I can tie up the loose ends of the Red Queen and him
hmm
and all that stuff. Shh, that's a spoiler, Chaz. Don't listen.
hmm
Um, but I'm going to be tying all that together in
yeah.
a Delta Green campaign
Cool.
because I'm into Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu now. So that's my two big ones right now.
hmm
And I'm not going for the tropey Call of Cthulhu stuff. I go for the unexplained that it just warps your brain and you go insane because you don't understand what the heck's happening. So I don't go for the tropey stuff. But yeah. Okay, I think I've had it because my headache is getting worse and I'm
Oh
my
yeah, we played two.
toothache is
Yeah, we
getting
run this two
going
and a half
too.
hours.
So
But I've got some done. I got some heraldry
hmm
done, and I got some. So I'm going to save this, and then we can end this.
hmm
And I've got some done here, so it's good. Yep.
hmm I've got to go put some more fake tooth filler in my tooth and get
Uh
it to
oh.
stop
Yeah.
giving me problems
hmm
because it's really, really, really giving me
Oh yeah,
issues.
that's not good. Yep.
So
So
then
think
it's like
yeah.
all the way up the side of my face. It's like,
hmm
come on,
Yep.
enough.
And
But
we need. Hang on a second.
mhm,
Sunday there is a Gabin that I forgot what the heck the it is, but there is supposed to be a Gabin as usual. I think on
mhm,
Sunday. So and then next week there will we have a Legends and Lore that I'm not sure what the topic will be. So we'll see. But yeah, so those are the next thing that comes up, and I have several blog posts that I'm working on for
mhm.
my Patreon that will be posted. So there will be more heraldry coming. There will be more updates on Crit Wall, and there will be more on the rules and stuff too. So it's coming. Yeah.
Mhm.
And but there's a
And
lot of prep for me going to Sweden and Europe, so I'm trying to get everything sorted out. So that takes some time. And but I'm hopefully in a day or two I will be wrapping up the my map for the Blue Box Greyhawk Awakening campaign. That has
mhm.
taken a lot of time the last month. So that hopefully it's only 2 days away from being wrapped up. So then I can go back full time to Greyhawk again.
Yep. And Savage, you are welcome. I'm willing to talk about Ravenloft anytime you want to yap about it.
Yeah.
And if you need some tips and stuff outside of that, just hit me up on Discord. I friended you, so we're good to there. But read the old Ravenloft is all I can say.
Mhm.
Ignore the new stuff unless you specifically like the way they run their 5e campaigns,
Yeah.
because there is so much lore out there.
Mhm.
I think I have 80 gigabytes worth of information on Ravenloft, which is all the old. I went through lots and lots of old, like treasure trove stuff and
Mhm.
found books upon books upon books and articles that people had written about it and that
There's
actually
some.
fit canon.
Yeah, and it's cool
So,
because you can find people's campaign notes and people put their websites where they campaign
mhm.
stuff, and that can be
Yep.
a treasure trove of cool stuff.
Yep. Second and third edition is where most of Ravenloft did come in. There
Yep.
was a few of the stuff in 1 ADD.
Yep.
White Wolf, not quite so much. There's a few. There's a few books in White Wolf, but there was the original Ravenloft book came out in first edition AD&D, I should say. But the majority is second and third.
Yep.
So,
Cool.
but yeah, read your lore and then make your decision on Ravenloft.
Yep.
So, but anyway,
Okay.
guys, I'm gonna go throw some stuff in my tooth because
Yep.
I can't get in the dentist for a week or two like normal. So I got to try and keep it under control until I get a chance to.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm
So
working on my Patreon. I'm almost got it set up, so that'll be active next week.
yeah,
And again, Troy, thank you, thank you, thank you for the packs that you allowed me to buy. I will play with them soon. And yeah, see you
yeah,
guys over on YouTube. I'm going to try and get as much as I can
yeah.
um, to get over on my YouTube too. So,
Yeah, thank you
um,
everyone who coming, and thank you everyone for signing up, be my Patreon member, and help me or make this possible for me to keep doing this. So yep, and there's coming projects, and I have some cool Zoom meetings on Monday I can't talk about yet, but there can be cool stuff coming from that too. So there's a bunch of stuff, and this summer I'm going to, when I'm away for 5 weeks, I'm going to do some future project planning and stuff that I need to going to announce this fall. There will be some new big projects being
mhm,
announced and stuff. So yeah, so it's
yeah.
coming. So thank you everyone, and see you on Sunday, and then again next week.
Hmm. All right. See you
Okay.
guys.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.